A runway is not necessary in Monaco. The entire city becomes the most opulent stage on the Riviera every evening. But it's not a high-end fashion show or a red carpet event that really pauses time here. It's the magnificent entrance of the gorgeous, rich ladies of Monaco. On the streets of Monte Carlo, these women are the epitome of grace, self-assurance, and an almost unbelievable degree of luxury. Everything about them becomes cinematic when they arrive in multi-million-dollar supercars or enter Casino Square beneath the gentle golden lights. Even locals stop to admire the moments created by their perfect appearance, glittering jewels, and designer clothes. They're more than just gorgeous. They redefine the definition of glamour in the present era. You're going to witness the uncommon, unvarnished aspect of their world tonight. They are impossible to overlook because of the nightlife, the supercars, the fashion, and their alluring atmosphere. You'll learn that beneath all of this sophistication is a secret code that subtly distinguishes real Monaco elites from the rest of the population, and realizing it will alter your perspective on their entire way of life. Make sure to subscribe to Inside the Billionaires and like this video before we start, so you don't miss the next installment of this amazing world. Monaco is said to have its unique gravity for a reason, because everyone in Monte Carlo turns to stare at a millionaire woman when she shows in. The atmosphere shifts when the sound of a supercar engine reverberates across the winding streets. It nearly seems like the start of a scene in a movie. The kind where you can tell right away that something memorable is going to happen. Imagine the sleek surface of a Ferrari Monza SP2 as it glides into Casino Square, reflecting the warm glints of upscale shops and the brilliant streetlights. Conversations halt when the car comes to a soft stop. Visitors hold up their phones, and even longtime residents stop in the middle of their stride. Then, with effortless ease, she exits as the door swings higher. Heels clicking confidently against the marble pavement, hair catching the gentle night breeze, and a flowing dress. She makes no effort to attract attention, she just attracts attention. She never makes a big show of coming. It's sophisticated, under control, and incredibly captivating. It has a beat to it. The audience responds when the door opens and she stands up. She does this choreography naturally and never practices. Every little detail matters. The delicate scent trail, the simple jewelry that only glistens in the perfect light, and the serene grin that implies she's perfectly where she belongs. However, there is more to this glitz than meets the eye. Beauty and wealth are not the only factors driving these arrivals. They are unspoken declarations of existence. Every supercar she drives has a backstory. Every place she selects serves a purpose. Her position in Monaco's most exclusive social circles is also indicated by each entrance. Even though the majority of people observe with amazement, very few are aware that each step, gaze, and meticulously timed moment is a part of a bigger pattern that only those who truly grasp the rhythm of the Riviera are aware of. There's a slight change as she moves across the square, vanishing into the gentle glow of Monte Carlo's nightgown, something unsaid that suggests her presence wasn't fleeting. There was a message, and the true mystery starts as soon as she enters the famous landmark up ahead. The reason her presence has more impact than anyone on the streets could possibly fathom is revealed by what is behind those doors. The art of silent luxury is something that Monaco has perfected, and its millionaire women are the best example of it. The whole Riviera seems to slow down when they arrive, as though to make room for their style to be the main attraction. They don't wear garish or over-the-top clothing. Rather, it's the kind of grace that draws attention without entirely understanding why. Imagine a woman wearing a custom-made gown from a Paris couture atelier as she exits her Lamborghini Aventador. Every sparkle from the streetlights is captured by the fabric, which drapes like liquid. Her jewelry sparkles just enough to imply sophisticated taste. Never too much, never too little. A finely wrought bracelet, a rare watch from a limited edition collection, or a pair of diamond earrings. Every piece was picked on purpose rather than on a whim. However, their ability to seamlessly improve the environment around them is what really makes them stand out. A casual stroll across Casino Square might turn into a style moment. They move with grace, precision, and nearly choreography. It's not because they're performing, but rather because their demeanor is inherently shaped by their confidence. As they go by, the upscale stores that line the streets appear to shine brighter, as if the city itself acknowledges their existence. Additionally, their purses frequently generate discussions. Rare Louis Vuitton exotics like Hermes, Himalaya, Chanel are so black that they are almost impossible to find. However, they wear them with the same carelessness as a regular item, and they never choose a look by accident. Every garment conveys information about the wearer's identity, destination, and world. However, neither the price tag nor the brand labels are the most intriguing aspect. It's the impact. The appropriate woman's attire has the power to instantly change the Riviera's luxury trends. Designers take note. Boutiques modify their exhibits. Even visitors attempt to imitate their fashion sense. And there's a more profound reality underlying all that glitz and beauty. Their style extends beyond apparel. It is a symbol, a signature, and a coded language that only people who are familiar with Monaco's elite culture can understand. And the next scene starts to change in a way that few are ready for. The moment one specific woman appears, wearing an unexpected item that nobody saw coming. The rich women of Monaco have an intriguing secret. Their world is governed by an unsaid code, an unseen framework that determines how they move, interact, and preserve their distinctive aura rather than by verbal regulations. The more you look, the more you see that this grace is a discipline rather than an accident. Easy composure is the first rule of this code. They never rush, never display tension, and never allow the moment to control them. Regardless of how loud the engines roar, how bright the cameras flash, or how many people turn to look, their strength lies on their serene demeanor. Even getting out of a supercar feels like a part of a well-timed rhythm when any performance indication is replaced with confidence. The deliberate minimalism rule is the second rule. They know that luxury doesn't have to be loud. As a result, their jewelry and makeup selections adhere to an exact balance. Nothing is too much, yet everything has an effect. A sophisticated item, a delicate lipstick shade, and a straightforward hairdo. No amount of ornate style could match the impact of these features. This self-control is what really conveys status in Monaco. Selective mystery is the third rule and possibly the most intriguing. They seldom divulge too much information about their financial situation, relationships, or personal lives. The purpose of this silent border is not secrecy. The key to keeping their world interesting is keeping a certain distance. They let others observe their way of life, but they never really comprehend the layers that go into it. The attraction that follows them everywhere is created by that distance. The foundation of the Millionaire Woman Code is made up of these three guidelines, which are frequently difficult for novices to understand. Some make excessive efforts, some divulge too much, and some seek attention rather than commanding it organically. And Monaco is always aware of the distinction. However, the most crucial aspect of this code is the one that is rarely discussed in public. Only the real elites adhere to this guideline, which establishes who really belongs and who doesn't. And whether on purpose or not, the instant one specific lady violates this unwritten rule, the delicate equilibrium of Monaco's glitzy world starts to change in ways that everyone around her cannot ignore. All of Monaco's supercars have a backstory, but those driven by affluent women are particularly powerful, because driving is a journey that few people fully comprehend, requiring ambition, discipline, and more than just beauty or luxury. Their vehicles aren't awards, they are significant events, emblems of triumphs attained long before they pass through Monte Carlo. Imagine a woman pulling up in a Rolls-Royce Wraith in midnight blue, the kind of car that doesn't shout speed but whispers elegance. Most people would simply see the automobile, but those who are familiar with her background understand that it is the prize for selling her first profitable luxury brand at the age of 30. From the starlit ceiling to the softly shutting doors, every element of that scene symbolizes a new phase in her success. A Ferrari 488 Pistaster with racing stripes that cut sharply through the city's radiance might be driven in by another woman. She turned an early startup bet into a global portfolio, launching her career in tech investments. The Ferrari is not a status symbol to her. It serves as a reminder of the dangers she faced when no one shared her goal. The woman who shows up in a white Lamborghini Aventador is another example. The car's striking design reflects her audacious ascent in the global fashion industry. Her company creates couture clothing that is worn by famous people all over the world. Her work, however, speaks louder than any introduction as she navigates Monaco with quiet assurance. Every supercar represents a phase of a life molded by willpower rather than good fortune. Furthermore, these women aren't merely showing machines as they drive across the Riviera. They are carrying the narrative of how they established their own empires. However, the arrivals that appear almost too well-timed are the most captivating. The limited edition car that debuts during a season of significant changes in the business, or the supercar that arrives immediately following a significant investment deal. Because sometimes their car choice is more than just a matter of personal taste. To others who can read it, it's a subtle cue. The entire atmosphere shifts one evening when a certain woman shows up in a car that nobody anticipated, something uncommon even by Monaco standards, implying that her arrival signals the start of a new, subtly developing chapter in the Riviera's affluent world. The actual nature of Monaco's affluent women only becomes apparent as the sun sets, despite the country's dazzling daytime glitz. Monaco becomes a private playground where elegance gets more intimate as the people disperse and the city lights dim. The most expensive moments take place away from the public view and conversations deepen. These evenings usually start with a private table with a view of the harbor or a peaceful supper at Louis XV. No contrived pictures or paparazzi, just sincere connections amongst women from similar affluent backgrounds. They then proceed smoothly into private lounges hidden behind Riviera hotels, where the lighting is soothing, the music is subdued, and the staff is well-versed in maintaining secrecy. However, the nights spent on mega yachts anchored just outside of Port Hercules are the most memorable. You won't find raucous gatherings or disorderly groups here. Rather, the mood is calm. The sound of waves lapping against the hull, the soft jazz playing in the background, and the Monaco skyline behind them glistening like a diamond curtain. It's a scene that seems to be suspended in time. The purpose of these events is not to flaunt oneself. They are about relaxing in an environment where they can be completely themselves, discussing business concepts, goals for the future, fashion inspirations, and even intimate moments that they would never discuss in public. These intimate settings are where they forge connections, develop alliances, and share thoughts that subtly influence Monaco's luxury economy. And occasionally, something remarkable occurs. Several affluent women on the same yacht, a rare reunion. They make up their own mythology on these nights. Stories that are only whispered between hotel concierges, boutique owners, and people who have spent years observing Monaco's aristocracy travel silently over the Riviera. However, the feeling that something significant always lurks beneath the surface is what makes these evenings so alluring, because there is a trace of gold in every intimate gathering, and occasionally a choice made on one of these calm evenings can have unexpected repercussions throughout Monaco. And when an unexpected visitor appears on the deck of a yacht that is known for entertaining only the most powerful women one night, everything changes quietly, laying the groundwork for a change the city hasn't yet realized. Competition is loud, direct, and hard to avoid in most places. However, the rivalry between billionaire women in Monaco is a kind of art that is delicate, elegant, and conveyed through details that only the most perceptive can understand. The atmosphere shifts when two or more of these women come into contact. It's not competition. It's a quiet ballet of self-assurance, power, and implicit hierarchy. Usually it starts with something as basic as an outfit. While one woman might select an exquisitely made gown from a burgeoning couture house, another might show up wearing something so rare that there are only 3 of them worldwide. Their sense of style is effortless. It is a dialogue, a means of status communication without using words. Next is the supercar. The choice of vehicle becomes a topic of conversation in Monaco. A rare Lamborghini, a custom Rolls-Royce, or a limited edition Ferrari all make a statement. The scene becomes unforgettable as two women emerge from equally magnificent machines. Individuals do more than merely observe, they also evaluate, contrast, and admire. And the women themselves, completely conscious of the electricity their presence generates, just grin. Their exchanges even have a lovely cadence, a gentle compliment, a serene smile, a subtle nod. Every gesture has a purpose. Grand displays are not necessary. There is restraint in the art. The real struggle is with refining. Who doesn't attempt to command attention? Who sets trends without making them public? Who says the least but makes the most impression? However, the fact that this interaction is never antagonistic is what makes it so fascinating. It's a reciprocal recognition of status, an elegant dance in which both women enhance one another just by being present at the same time. After all, outshining others isn't how confidence is demonstrated in Monaco. It is demonstrated by its effortless brilliance. However, underlying this calm elegance is a current that only those in the know can sense, because a fresh face appears with each season. Someone who is young, mysterious, or exceptionally successful. Someone who, without even recognizing it, upsets the equilibrium. And the whole dynamic changes in the most subtle yet impactful way when a woman like that takes the Riviera stage. And that newcomer has already made an appearance this season. She is starting to reorganize the unwritten hierarchy of Monaco's most powerful women, causing tension in the city that the general public hasn't yet noticed. Monaco's nights have a rhythm, a flow that only the city's wealthy women appear to naturally possess. Their evenings don't just happen. They choose a graceful route that transforms the whole Riviera into a setting for a movie. Additionally, once you see this pattern, it is hard to ignore. Usually it starts at Casino Square, where supercars line up like jewels in motion and the glow of chandeliers spills out onto the marble steps. The women go here to take in the ambience rather than to brag. The already stunning scene is made much more luxurious with each arrival. Their presence transforms ordinary walks into memorable experiences. The trip then proceeds down the shiny streets in the direction of Carador's upscale shops. They occasionally pause to attend a discreet shopping appointment. Shops frequently remain open late just for them. Upstairs, the tailor waits. New arrivals are prepared by stylists, and while they peruse in a leisurely, almost ceremonial manner, champagne is subtly poured. They then naturally migrate toward Port Hercules as the night grows darker. At night, the harbor appears to be a galaxy reflected on the sea. The moonlight beautifully illuminates the yachts. The docks are being brushed by soft waves. The atmosphere shifts at this point. The serene pulse of the water takes the place of the city's cacophony. On certain evenings, they board a yacht that is ready for them to take a leisurely trip down the Riviera. On other evenings, they remain on the deck and engage in discussions that seem more significant than those held in packed dining establishments. The world seems smaller, softer, and somehow much more exclusive under the open sky, with Monaco glimmering in the background. The most interesting destination, however, is the last one, a secluded spot right outside the port. Only a few insiders are familiar with this location. It is not a restaurant, bar, or club. However, it is an important part of Monaco's elite nightlife. And those who are familiar with Monaco's social geography know that something exceptionally important is likely to happen as soon as a certain affluent woman arrives, because her next move will subtly influence the evening's atmosphere and allude to partnerships and plot points that won't be revealed to the public for a long time. Monaco is viewed by most as a playground of luxury. Few realize that Monaco's affluent women are much more than style icons behind the scenes, despite their supercars, yachts, and glamorous nightlife. They are economic factors that subtly control the movement of commerce, prestige, and trends throughout the Riviera. Without ever having a conversation with them, you can gauge their impact. The day after one of them casually strolls through wearing a rare couture piece, demand for the boutique soars. Just because some of them decide to eat at a new restaurant during its first week of operation, it becomes the talk of the town. Depending on where these ladies choose to reside, meet, or invest, even the value of real estate along particular streets changes. Luxury businesses keep a tight eye on their moves. Designers take note when a rich woman chooses a specific jewelry line or handbag. Dealerships brace for a surge of requests when she exits a particular supercar. Salons all around Monaco change their entire menu when she endorses a new beauty fad. Their decisions cause a stir, calm waves but strong ones that change the ecology of the city. They have an impact on Monaco's social structure as well. Their presence is frequently the focus of invitations to events, collaborations with prestigious clubs, and even the scheduling of specific galas. In other words, attention follows them wherever they go, and opportunity increases where attention flows. The most fascinating thing about their power, though, may be how organically it manifests. They don't discuss status. They don't show off their achievements. They move confidently and calmly through Monaco, making an impression with their presence rather than their force. And that presence has come to define Monaco as the global center of sophisticated luxury. Beneath this grace, however, is a change that only insiders are starting to notice. Because trends are shifting this year. Monaco's most powerful women are undergoing a quiet but noticeable shift, with new partnerships emerging and classic characters retreating. The Riviera's entire rhythm started to change when a certain woman made a single, straightforward choice about where to show up, who to meet, and which yacht to embark. This set the stage for a change that the world has not yet witnessed but will soon. Millionaire women in Monaco are more than just glamorous representations. They are the Riviera's lifeblood. The streets, the port, and the nightlife are transformed into a living work of elegance every evening when they show up, transforming everyday moments into dramatic sequences. Trends are influenced by their decisions. Atmospheres are formed by their presence. And in today's society, their peaceful assurance exemplifies what real luxury looks like. And as we've seen along the way, their way of life is about more than just wealth or beauty. Only a few people really comprehend the discipline, taste, and subtle power involved. Every element of their world has significance, from the supercars they select to the secret locations they congregate. This explains why Monaco feels different while they are here and why the city eagerly looks forward to each new season. The most fascinating aspect, though, is that things are changing. A completely new chapter of the Riviera is starting to take shape, with new faces appearing and private relationships being forged. What comes next has the potential to completely change Monaco's luxury culture. Make sure to like, subscribe to channel, and enable notifications so you never miss what comes next if you want to keep discovering this amazing world, from the upcoming wave of arrivals to the hidden sights that only insiders ever witness.